What's going on, 22 Comics? And today I've got my first PGX unboxing. What that means is essentially, when I did my first PGX submission, I sent it off to PGX West. Little did I know that it was called PGX West, nor that there even was a PGX East. And I figured, with the one book that I disagreed with the grade on, I would try PGX West because it's a completely different facility and a completely different part of the States. So see what they did there. So yeah, let's open this up, see what books I got, and see how the grades compared as far as what I thought and what they gave me. Now I will say that my experience with PGX East was different, like a lot different than my experience with PGX West. If you look at the websites also, the websites are completely different. Like PGX East, their website looks really good and is really nice. So I dealt with a guy named Rob. These books, my first batch came in a post office flat rate box. This is like a legit box that this came in. This went through UPS. And okay, that's some filler. We got lots of peanuts here. I kind of know what the grades are, and the reason is because, like I said, the guy that I was dealing with, his name is Rob. He would hit me up when he got the books to let me know, hey, I got your books. And these aren't cellophane wrapped either, it doesn't look like. So packaging is different too. That's odd to me anyways. But basically Rob was like, hey, I got your books, and then he listed out what he thought the grades were already, or pretty much what the grades were already. And they were honestly pretty spot on with everything that I had already thought that the book should be. He did tell me on one book that had a lot of butterflying, and his estimate on what the grade would be was apparently butterflying took a lot off. And he's like, yo, I suggest, if you want to press this one book, it'll take it from probably a 9.4 to a 9.6. He's like, but this other one, you could get a 9.8 out of if you pressed it. And I was like, okay, cool. So we talked about it and went back and forth and whatnot like that. And I wound up going ahead and getting him to press the one that was butterfly. So yeah, it's in this bubble envelope. None of the cellophane wrap, none of that big giant wrap of cellophane for this. So that's interesting. They were tight in the bubble envelope, and there was lots of peanuts in there and stuff like that. I'm not against the way they did it. It's just, it's weird that it's just so different. Alright, I got my notes for my books. My grades, I think they are. Here we go. First up, Black Widow. Alright. Black Widow number 1. This is a fried pie variant. I love this cover. It's the only one that I've ever found. I'm not saying that they're not out there. I'm just saying it's not one that I find out in the wild a lot. This is the only one I've ever found out in the wild. This book had a decent amount of problems with it, including it had several spine ticks that were color breaking. The top was wavy. There's a slight bend on the bottom right, and slight bend on the back top 1/3 on the spine. So there's a few things wrong with it. I did press it and stuff like that. I predicted this book in the shape that it is in to get a 9.4. So PGX thought it was a 9.4. Alright. Awesome. Good deal. Let's see if I can zoom in on these what's going on with the spine and stuff. So yeah, there's a tick right there, and there's another one down around in here. And that's what, the ticks that I had on it. And then like I said, the bag was wavy, stuff like that. The glue job on this is, I don't know. Like, okay, so there's that. Case still looks good. That glue job though, that's odd. Yeah. So, 9.4 white pages. Alright, this next book up is a Dark Knights Metal Fried Pie variant. Number 6. This book was pretty rough. Any and every one of these that I've ever come across has always been rough. This thing had like blunted top left corner, a braided corner, 3 spine ticks, one that's color breaking. This is a cardstock book. Like, I tried tack pressing what I could out. Back bottom left bend. Back had stress lines, no color breaks. Corner bend at the back, bottom right. Front lower middle had a right ding. So like this thing had a list of things that were wrong with it. I said it could be, I said it was a very fine book. So anywhere from like a 7.5 to a 9.0, just because I didn't know like what this thing would come back as. So anyways, PGX thought it was a 7.5. Alright. So yeah, totally on the lower end, which is fine, because I mean, it's still within what I thought. Let's see if I can find the stuff and show it to y'all. So like right here, there's a really good like color break. And then down here, there's a good color, there's a good bend spine tick. Here's that back corner. Here's that front of that corner. So like it was just jacked up. There's the back bottom corner. There's the front. I feel like he actually told me. I have to look in the emails. What he originally said was his thought on this one, because I thought he told me a little higher than that. Regardless, this was a pretty rough book, but it did still make it very fine. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Fried pie variant. If you've never seen a DC fried pie variant, you will not know it's a fried pie variant unless you know the cover and until you see the back. Like, every DC fried pie variant that I've ever seen that was not associated with another company like Batman in the Shadow or something like that, they've always just had the fried pie variant stuff on the back. That's it. Alright, so far we are on par with PGX. Here, let's take a look at the glue. It just looks spotty. Like, and I don't understand why. I don't know if that's glue. I don't know if it's like a you know, like a heat press type thing where you like press in the, but like it just looks spotty. I don't know, that's weird. That's weird. I don't think it necessarily affects the integrity of the book or anything like that. It's just, I've not seen one like that. Last book up. This is the Jessica Jones book. Another one that I have only found one ever in the wild. Jessica Jones. I thought this book, the way it was, would have a 9.4 to a 9.8. Got 2 minute color break ticks, and cover doesn't lay flat, so it was butterflying. So I'd mentioned all that in my notes when I was doing this. Another fried pie variant. So yeah, let's see what let's see what PGX thought. Remember, I was saying a 9.4 to a 9.8, and they thought 9.8 is what they thought, and that's what he said. He said, you know, if I press this, it'll come out a 9.8. And so I told him to go ahead and press it. So he had, the biggest issue he had was the fact that it was butterflying pretty badly. So I'm looking to find the color breaks. They're extremely minute. Pretty sure that's one right there, and then there's one right there. So yeah, really good looking book, nice corners. So I'm glad I paid the little extra to have him press this one. Otherwise, he was saying it would come out probably with that butterflying to be a 9.0. Again though, this glue is just like, or heat, like press or something, I don't know. I need to look at the other PGX books that I have and see what it looks like, because like, I'm trying to give these guys a fair shot here, you know what I mean? Very odd. Just very odd. So I've given myself about a week to like actually marinate and like think about my experience with PGX and stuff like that, what I think of them as a whole, what I think of them as a company, and like just their locations being separate and stuff like that, and what I want to do as far as like the future goes with PGX. As a whole, to me personally, it just doesn't feel like wholehearted. It just doesn't feel like they have everything in it, honestly. That's just my honest opinion of them. But I got 3 books graded with PGX West, and 1 book I think they missed something big on. As far as the cases go, the cases are nice. As far as labels go, I like the labels. Price point, of course, the price point is great. But for me, when I'm getting books graded, I'm paying for that grade. Like, yes, I'm paying for that case too, and I want that to be nice. But that doesn't seem to be an issue with this industry. It really boils down to the grade. Like, making sure that grade is right, or close to as possible being right. And with West, I feel like they missed something pretty big, and I just don't have confidence as far as that grading goes. And don't get me wrong, like, human error is a thing, but it's almost like you go to a restaurant for the first time and they mess up. Like, do you really go back to that restaurant? You know what I mean? And the whole point of me doing this was because, you know, PGX had gotten a bad rap already. Like, as it was, they've had a bad rap for years and stuff like that. And people are people, and I just wanted to give people a chance. I wanted to see things for myself, and me actually give somebody or a company a chance. I also wanted to take y'all along with me though for this, because at least when you see what I've been kind of like getting and receiving and stuff like that, this kind of like gives you an idea of maybe what to expect. Of course, like, your experience may differ because it's a whole new experience, but I think this kind of just gives you like an introductory into PGX. As far as PGX East goes, I really like their grading. To me personally, I think they did spot on grading. Rob over there seemed really nice, and I enjoyed my emails back and forth with him for the most part. He did tell me in an email previously that the Dark Knights metal would be an 8.0, and then it came in at 7.5, so I emailed him and I said, hey, what's the deal with the 7.5? I thought you told me it was an 8.0. And he said, well, I looked at it further. That was kind of like a pre-screen grading kind of thing. And, you know, then I thought of it as an 8.0. The more I looked at it, I dropped it down to a 7.5. So I understand that. That's cool. Again, I want what the actual grade is. I just wanted to understand, like, why he bumped it down more kind of thing. As far as what I kept saying, glue, it's not glue. It is, like, basically, if you're going to sit there and package meat up or something like that and put it in a freezer, like a deep freezer, it's basically like one of those pressure deal. Like, it's got a heating element, and you push, like, it seals it up kind of deal. So, that was not glue. but his are the only ones that look like that. The ones from West do not look like that. CGCs don't look like that. CBCSs don't look like that. Me personally, my thoughts, my opinion, is either the machine's not acting right or they just don't know how to do it well. That's just my opinion. He said that personally he doesn't like to leave them on as long in the emails. So he does his a little bit differently. Take that for what you will. They do seem sealed. I don't like the splotchiness. I don't think it presents well, is what it boils down to. And let's be honest, we're getting our books graded and stuff like that, not only to have a grade, but also to be preserved and to possibly display. So if you have something that doesn't present well, you're not going to want to display it. So that's kind of the biggest, to me, that's the biggest bummer with PGX East, is it seems like their quality control as far as the seams or whatever is not as well. From here on, I'm not going to send anything to PGX. You know, I'd like to send it to West if I did, just because I know I'll get that slab that presents well. It's always going to be in the back of my head if that grade's actually right, kind of thing. Did they miss something? Did I miss something? For grading, I'd like to send it down to East, but theirs are not going to present well, from what I gather. So with that being the case for me, I'm just not going to work with PGX anymore. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. You can find me on Instagram and eBay at 22_comics. You can also find me on a podcast called Comically Comics. Those drop every Monday wherever you listen to podcasts, so be sure to go check that out. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, y'all have a good one.